In the suffocating silence of the void, where stars go to die, prison station Sintal 8 drifted, a metallic carcass rotting under the crimson glare of a failing dwarf star. It is a grim reality we recognize all too well. The tendency of powerful systems to bury their mistakes in the dark, hoping the universe forgets. But the universe, like the rust that bled across the station's hull, has a way of remembering. Adrian Vork knew this better than most. An engineer with hands scarred by a lifetime of fixing broken things, he walked the station's arteries, where the air tasted of uranium dust and despair. At his hip hung an anachronism, a rusted sword of hammered steel, forged by human hands before the age of molecular perfection. It was a relic named Conscience. Legend said it once belonged to Marcus Chen, a man who chose morality over orders during the corporate wars. It was a clumsy weapon by modern standards, possessing no monofilament edge or plasma field. Yet its previous owners claimed it possessed a singular, terrifying quality. It did not cut flesh, it cut lies. During a routine inspection of Sector 7, a maze of shadows and groaning metal, Adrian found a sealed hatch. It was an anomaly, bound by molecular locks so advanced they predated the station itself. It was a tomb designed to hold a ghost. When modern tools failed, Adrian drew Conscience. The ancient steel, fueled perhaps by the sheer stubbornness of human will, shattered the high-tech bonds. The hatch screamed open, revealing a spherical chamber where time stood still. Inside, chained by shifting molecular shackles, was a woman with the blue-tinged skin of the Isker elite. She was Lena Sirier, and she had been erased from existence for 300 years. The walls of her cell were a testament to an unyielding mind. She had carved thousands of names into the metal, victims she had failed to save. "We were idealists once," read the inscription near her hand. "We believed honor was worth more than life." Adrian freed her, the rusted blade dissolving the sophisticated chains like ash. "You are not the one who was supposed to come," she whispered, her voice dusty with disuse. "Because you're not trash," Adrian replied, a simple engineer's assessment that sparked a revolution. As alarms screamed, waking the dormant Unit 7L, they fled. In the cramped confines of a stolen shuttle, the truth spilled out. Lena was no criminal. She was the former commander of the 3rd Imperial Strike Regiment. 3 centuries ago, at the height of the Isker Empire's golden age, she was ordered to massacre a refugee camp on Balarium to preserve resources. She refused. Her sister, Susur, had signed the erasure order to prevent a civil war, trading Lena's life for the Empire's stability. It is the oldest bargain in political history, a single tragedy accepted to prevent a greater chaos. They set a course for Acer Prime, the beating heart of the Empire. It was a world of blinding beauty, a utopia built on the silence of the grave. Here Susur still ruled as Empress, her throne secured by the lie that her sister was a traitorous terrorist. But looking at the pristine avenues, Adrian saw only the rot beneath. "They turned you into a monster to justify their peace," he noted, watching the propaganda screens. "They infiltrated the capital, breaking into the archives beneath the Museum of Imperial Victory. There they found the buried proof, Lena's defiant trial recordings. Unable to breach the Empire's digital fortress directly, they took to the streets. They used the oldest network of all, word of mouth. Graffiti appeared in alleyways. Songs were sung in worker canteens. They met Kira Thinney, a young revolutionary with eyes burning with the dangerous hope of the innocent. Kira became their amplifier, spreading the story of the commander who said no until the city began to vibrate with suppressed rage. The tension broke on the day of remembrance. In the Capitol Plaza, beneath banners of blue and silver, Empress Susur stood to address her subjects. She spoke of unity and glory, unaware that history was walking up the stairs to meet her. Lena emerged from the crowd, a ragged figure carrying the weight of 3 centuries. The plaza fell silent. The sisters faced each other, one draped in the finery of a lie, the other clad in the scars of the truth. "You saved no one," Lena told the Empress, her voice amplified across the stunned square. "You chose to preserve the system, while I chose to preserve my soul." Susur, crumbling under the gaze of the sister she had buried, ordered the guards to fire. But the order died in the air. A veteran in the crowd fired first. Not at Lena, but at the enforcers. Chaos erupted. It was a scene reminiscent of every moment a populace suddenly realizes their chains are made of paper. Adrian fought beside Lena, conscience flashing in the sunlight, shattering the advanced armor of the Imperial Guard. In the melee, a sniper took aim at Lena. It was Kira who saw the glint. The young girl threw herself into the path of the plasma bolt, trading her future for a legend's survival. "I dreamed of seeing a world where you weren't a ghost," Kira whispered as she died in Lena's arms. "Did I make it real?" "Yes," Lena wept. "You made it real." They escaped the plaza, but the cost had been paid in blood. Lena had taken a fatal burn during the retreat. In a safe house deep within the industrial district, as her life ebbed away, she wrote a final testament. It wasn't a command, but a confession. "Freedom isn't something you take," she recorded. "It's something you choose again and again, even when the West is us, everything you love." Lena Serrier died a free woman, but her words survived. Adrian spread her letter across the galaxy. The Broken Chains movement rose from the ashes of her sacrifice, forcing the Empire to slowly, painfully evolve. 40 years later, on the backwater moon of Kepler-7, an aged Adrian sat in a repair shop. He placed a single broken link of chain into the hand of his young apprentice, Zara. "Why keep this?" Zara asked, tracing the jagged metal. "To remember that some prisons exist only in our minds," Adrian replied, looking up at the stars that seemed a little less cold than before. "Strength isn't about never failing, Zara. It's about never stopping trying to do better." The galaxy had moved on, as it always does, but the lesson remained. In the end, the rusted sword in the blue-skinned commander proved that the most powerful weapon is not one that destroys, but one that refuses to strike. The vacuum of space is vast and merciless, but even there, a single spark of conscience can burn bright enough to light the way home.